As we bring in Richard Davenport, I want to go back to Gundy's comments Monday about recruiting in this football game.
The business side of what we're getting into, I don't know anymore. I think the business side, based on the same thing we talk about over and over, if she signs off on what we think she's going to sign off on, recruiting will be limited, negotiating will be prominent.
Richard, that was in response to the importance of who wins this game for recruiting. You think about Arkansas and Oklahoma State. They go after similar players in Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas in some cases, but he kind of redirected it towards business and NIL. How much less of an impact is this game on recruiting with how college sports has changed nowadays?
Let me start off first. I want to give a shout out to Dennis Brandt at House of Webster and Rogers. If you've ever liked salsa and jams and stuff like that, check them out. But anyway, talking about that, that's an interesting thought, and it's just a reality of college football and college athletics right now. As far as Arkansas and Oklahoma State going head-to-head recruiting-wise, that definitely happens. Mm-hmm. Whether or not, this game I have a huge impact either way, it will help a little bit for whoever wins, but I don't think it's a huge deciding factor. I think kids are going to go to the school that best fits them, and obviously there could, the NIL situation could also come into effect and revenue sharing and stuff like that too. So, but I think it can help, but I don't think it's a huge deal.
Mike Gundy also spoke to Arkansas's girthy offensive line, as he called it, an SEC offensive line, and this Oklahoma State offensive line has over 200 starts. What dynamic do you see playing out Saturday against a veteran offensive line versus maybe a bigger, more athletic Arkansas offensive line? What does that look like to you?
Well, I mean, obviously the line of scrimmage is usually decides the game, whichever game you're watching. It's a line of scrimmage game, and whoever has the best day you'll probably will come out with the win, unless you throw some other intangibles in there as far as turnovers and big plays and stuff like that. But if you can't win the line of scrimmage, I mean, we saw that last year, especially with the Arkansas offensive line. You're probably not going to be successful. I just tend to think that Arkansas probably has overall a better talent pool than Oklahoma State, and I think that should be reflected on Saturday. But at the same time, when you're going on the road against a good opponent, that kind of helps even things out.
Yeah. Anyone stand out to you in Game 1 with the newcomers? We'll include the portal players and the high school players. What was it? 85 different players got on the field. Anyone stand out to you last Thursday against Pine Bluff?
Obviously, Taylor. I mean, we talked about him and how he can be a difference maker, with his running ability and his passing ability. But I think he's a guy that could help Arkansas, maybe cover up some weaknesses that they may have, maybe on the offensive line. I think the offensive line is much improved, but at the same time, a guy that has that much ability to make things happen when things break down, I think is a huge plus for Arkansas. I think the linebackers, the new linebackers, also kind of showed their capability. But when you play UAPB, no disrespect, you kind of expect to dominate them like Arkansas did, and that's something that obviously they didn't do last year against Western Carolina, and that kind of showed some concerns, and those concerns kind of showed up later on in the season. So, but overall, I think the newcomers kind of showed their worth, and why this staff is kind of excited about the portal haul that they had.
Yeah. Scoring 70 points, 10 for 10 offensively on possessions, pitching a shutout defense. Against Pine Bluff, is that a big enough peg that you can hang a hat on early in this recruiting process for the fall? Is that? I mean, it's got to be worth talking about because it's right now the only thing you got worth talking about. But till Saturday, is that enough peg to hang your hat on last week or so?
Well, I mean, I think it's encouraging. I don't think it's enough, obviously to hang your hat on, but it's definitely encouraging based on what happened last year in the opening game, and that they did what they were supposed to do last Thursday, and it was to dominate on both sides of the ball, and they did that. And I think that's why, a lot of fans are maybe a little bit more optimistic about the season than what it was last year when obviously they struggled offensively as far as the offensive line. But I think, and I kind of said this going into even before the UAPB game, I think a good SEC team beats an Oklahoma State team. Now, obviously, I just said earlier about the road being on the road kind of evens things out a little bit more. But I think Arkansas is the better team, and they should win on Saturday. Doesn't mean that they will, but I just tend to think that overall talent will help Arkansas get a victory on Saturday.
We're talking with Richard Davenport this morning here on the Morning Rush. RD, Arkansas will finally host a home game this next weekend against UAB. If they win this Saturday, could you see more recruits winding up in Fayetteville for that game against the Blazers?
I think it would help. But obviously, when you beat a good top 25 team on the road, that's going to get attention. But for the most part, kids usually have their visits kind of scheduled out, planned out. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it may sway a guy or two here or there to say, well, instead of going to Kansas or Oklahoma or whoever, maybe I'll check out Arkansas, and maybe pique their interest a little bit more.
And I think with this game this weekend, listening to the conversation surrounding Mike Gundy and all the coaches that have been here at Arkansas previously, how shocking is it that he's the second longest tenured coach in college football, him and Kyle Whittingham, in fact, Ferentz is first. Are you surprised he lasted that long in Stillwater?
Who wouldn't be in this climate? I mean, you look what has happened to Norvell at Florida State. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's 23. He's won 23 games in the last two seasons. Kind of got the program going in the right direction. Now he's a total idiot because he's lost the first two games, and Florida State. Some Florida State fans are ready to get rid of him. It blows me away how fickle fan bases can be, and I get it. I do. People, want to win want to live in the immediate, and when things are going bad, they're all their focus is on is how bad that team is, and doesn't really. They don't take into account Norvell before he got there. They had Willie Taggart,
yep,
and things went south. It took two rebuilding seasons. And last year, if the quarterback doesn't get hurt, they probably would have been in the playoffs. But it does. It surprises me. I mean, you could look at Sam and what happened last year. Large part of the fan base was ready to get rid of him. This year, if he has a good season, he obviously will be in good graces with the fan base again. But it amazes me how some and a lot of times it's the vocal minority just go to the extreme and make it seem like the world's coming to an end when reality what Norvell has done at Florida State the past two seasons shows that he's a good coach, and his track record before that shows he's a good coach. But you lose two straight. Hey, I get it. That's just the product. That's just the way it is nowadays.
Richard, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you jumping on with us here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, and we'll react to hopefully some good recruiting news this next Wednesday.
All right, buddy. We'll see you guys.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.